Let's see here. I think I managed to go live again. Woo! Exciting news. Uh, I just wait here and see if anyone is, awake. I want a live general reading for this week. Um, so I just stay here and chat a little bit and see if anyone shims in. I know it can take some time for all the notifications to spread around the world or something like that. Um, my week has been quite good, I think. I really managed to work with the essence of the Queen of Swords, I guess, but in a more, I say, shadow side of myself as well. Because last week we had, for those that are new here, I'm Sandra, I'm sorry, Törnroth, and I'm the tarot reader here in this group. And I share my personal views and takes on tarot, and I use it both as an intuitive readings, but foremost in this group we use it for, but it's intuitive as well, but it's more for self-development and personal growth in in the career and work related space. um I think it's easier, or it's a great start to learn tarot as self-development tool, as you only play with your own energy, so to speak. You're not doing any divination or spirit communication or anything like that. It can be really scary, and you shouldn't do that if you are new to things, so to speak. So in this group we keep it quite, in the safe space of tarot. Tarot is safe, don't get me wrong, but we're not using it in, in any kind of divination kind of way here. If you want to learn more about divination and more the psychic and intuitive, you know, way of using tarot, I welcome you to my Patreon group, or Patreon site, I say, where I share more intuitive and psychic ways of using the tarot as a tool, and as well as doing readings for others, or yeah, tips and tricks. Let's see here. No one has Jim in red. But it's okay. I know it's early. It's the middle of the night. For most, I try to scan, the followers here, or followers. It sounds so crazy. Friends here in the group, and I noticed many of you are in the States, so I understand. But not all of you, though. You are not forgotten. It's a round world with many countries, and we live all over the planet, and it's okay. Uh, as a start, if you're new here, I just wanted to say that I use this one in the group, this tarot deck, the Rider-Waite Tarot pack or deck, or what do you call it. You find a link to this tarot deck in, I think, the description. I paste it like everywhere so you don't miss it. Uh, Most of my links here on the group, it's called the group, is affiliate links, and by that is I get a little tiny commission when you buy something through my link, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. um and this is just, to get a momentum with my group, so I can do more of my content, and dedicate more time to the tarot group and everything like that. So enough about that. Another fun thing that is coming up here, it's happening a lot here because I'm so ecstatic about this group. I think it's so fun, you know. Uh, it's like a faucet of fun I have been, doing this by myself or with clients, in person, one to one, and this is such a fun forum for me, to explore this way of working with a tarot. Mm. So I have a class coming up. It's for free. It's about, I think it will half an hour to 45 minutes, I guess. It depends how many questions you have and everything like that. But it's how to use a pendulum. And as everything with this group, we use a pendulum with our own energies, so we are not, using it for connecting to something else outside ourselves, so to speak. So it's no, if you're new to everything like this, you can shim in if you want to. And a pendulum is really great for to use when you have questions like yes or no questions that you need guidance with, because tarot in itself is not a great tool for yes or no. I know some people say it is, but I don't think it's the optimal tool for using yes or no questions. I'm a little bit against yes and no question overall, kind of, readings, because you should never take away your own will or your own empowerment of the situation. Take empowerment of yourself and your um, situation. Never let anything outside of you say what you are going to do. Just refer to yourself and your feelings and grow with that. And that's why I seldom do yes or no readings. I tend to do, if I choose this way, this might be my experience, and if I choose that way, that might be my experience. And then you can decide for yourself, or with more, sometimes we want to choose a way that is harder than the easy way, because it's our soul path, again, I just got off track here. But anyway, so the pendulum is great for those situations where you really, really need a yes or no, like indication of something. But then again, I don't want you to just go with that, yeah, it said yes, and then I do yes, but you get a clearer indication sometimes, not always, where to head. And a pendulum can be great in situations of distress when you cannot think clearly. So it has its place, of course it has, but don't use it, as the only tool you use, I think, if you want to grow spiritually and, as a person, and grow to learn how to listen to your inner voice, so to speak, which we are trying to learn here in the group together. I'm no guru in that. I also struggle with a very stubborn ego. And the ego is the shield, that we create without even knowing it ourselves. It's a projection of what we want the world to think we are or look like. So it's, that little barrier we have, creation of our personality or person. And inside is our true feelings that we sometimes don't even feel or allow ourselves to feel because the ego is so strong. But in this group, we try to a little bit make the ego a little bit thinner so we can show off our real selves and feel a little bit better about everything in our lives. Let's see here. Let's start. I will stop this chat. But anyway, it's the 4th of June, this class, this pendulum. Learn to use the pendulum. And I am happy if you join. So I think it's in the events tab, you find it there. Maybe I can add a link as well in the description. Now it's time for the for the reading. And last week we had the Queen of Swords, which is a card of telling the truth, your own truth, in, you know, in an authoritative way, but still with, you know, compassion and showing yourself, you know, as who you are and your truth, and standing up for yourself and your truth. As I said before, I'm jumping here. I'm like this. I'm so sorry. Is that I'm a freelancer as well. And a freelancing world, or being in a freelancing world, can be quite hard sometimes because it's a two-edged sword against sword. You can accept whichever work you want to do and deny it as well. And you can, you know, get sacked or, you know, or praised as well. So it can be a real toll on your self-esteem sometimes if the clients doesn't, you know, approve of your work, and you have to do it over and over again, demanding clients sometimes, not demanding, but you know, you have missed the point sometimes, and it's okay, but it can be, you know, quite challenging. And then you have those situations where you are not sure you should, you know, get the project or not, or accept it. I was in that situation this week where I was a little bit hesitant because I didn't really know if the energy or the vibe of the client, that so to speak, was in line with my ethics and morals and stuff. I work with social media and also with illustration and stuff, so online, and sometimes it can be mixed with the client's marketing strategy, which not always is in my cup of tea, and then I say no. But in this case, I was a little bit hesitant. I didn't really know. But then I accepted it, even though my inner self, the truth, should have just stand up like the Queen of Swords and said no, because I'm not sure. And if you're not sure, you should say no. But I didn't. And the first, you know, two tasks, I really felt no, this is not right for me. And usually I try to, you know, dig in and just finish the project, and then not take on more projects, so to speak, later on, because I accepted and everything. But in this project, I said no. I'm I'm stepping off the train here. I don't know what you say in English, but and that's really challenging for me to do as a person, because I really want to stand up for my commitments. So, but I did. I really worked with the Queen of Swords, and yeah, that was it, I think. Yeah. But let's see here what this week has to offer. Let's see here. I always like to share, you know, a personal story. I hope it doesn't bore you too much, because I don't want to out, you know, anyone else. And if you get example of, you know, the card in action, it's easier to understand how to, I think at least, just correct me if I'm wrong, to how to use the cards or use tarot in everyday life, because that is something that is missing in all those guides that you get, or books, because it's just, you know, the card meanings, but it often doesn't have any examples of real world situations where you modern at least, where you can work with the card energy. So That's why. Just tell me if I'm boring and get to the reading. Let's see here. Like that. And I think now we're done. Let's see here what we have this week. Oh, we have a major arcana card. The Hierophant. As you see, this card is a card of traditions and, you know, social, what do you call it in English? Like social rules. You can, I know it is a religious, you know, picture in this card, but if you're not religious, it can be your spiritual spiritual way of seeing the world, the society's rules, you know. It can apply to everything that makes our lives like rules for our lives, spiritual lives. Or it's not, you know, the law. You should not of course it can be that as well. It's against every, you know, spiritual thing to steal, but this is more the spiritual and social rules. So it's not the law this time, but it's like that. And the Hierophant is something that many people, they don't like this card in that sense, because it's traditions. You shouldn't break with traditions. It's a card of following the system, so to speak. But I don't really see it like that. It's just, you know, it can also bring calmness to know what system to follow, so to speak. So this is a little bit to keep in line with society, and your view of society and the rules, of course. It's not just the religious rules, even though it's an Hierophant, and people, as you see here, people are gathering to listen and follow the rules. You see here, two people here and here. It's like, you know, the mega priest, the Hierophant or priestess. And in some sense, I feel this card is very calming for me at this moment. I don't know how you feel about it, but we have had very challenging cards in the past here, the few weeks. And it's very much challenging to step outside the system, so to speak. Like saying your truth and stand out there and, you know, really out yourself. This is me, this is how I want to do things. And it's very challenging to step outside the rules and the grid, so to speak. And this is staying inside of the grid and the rule system. And it can be a time of pausing, reflecting on your belief system. I'm a Christian myself. I'm, you know, brought up in that religion, so to speak. So that is kind of my system, how to, you know, be as a person and such, and it's quite calming to just have a week of reflecting on your being firm in your system, so to speak, and those around you as well. And I think we need some calmness, don't you? So don't think that this card is a negative card. I hear it all the time, that it is suppressing your personality and such, but it isn't, because it's your system, you know, your chosen system to live by. And of course, sometimes the system that you live in excludes you or suppress you as well, you know, if you're uh, that can happen. In that case, it's bad. But if that's the case, think of all the situations where you feel calmness and grounding and not having to take all the decisions all the time. You don't have to invent the wheel. you 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 already have, you know, a guidance in your belief system. And yeah, I think I really needed that card after these kind of challenging weeks. Please let me know what you think. Do you think the Hierophant, if you are used to tarot or if you have read tarot before and know the card meanings, how do you feel about the Hierophant overall? And if you're new to tarot, you can always read and check up, you know, the Hierophant in card meaning directories. I love BiddyTarot.com and Biddy Tarot. I've taken certifications there myself. I really love her way of seeing the cards and the card meanings. So you can check her card meanings if this is new to you. Um, mm, yeah. To the negative side of this is, as I said, it's suppressing your personality in that sense. If you have a personality or needs that is outside of the system, so to speak, that is, I know that, um, for example, it's getting better, you know, but if you are in a same-sex relationship, this card can be very not nice card, you know, if you are in a religion system where same-sex relationship isn't allowed or seen with inclusive eyes. Or if you have, like me, as I hated this card for a while because I am a epileptic myself, and sometimes I feel the system wasn't including me as they were seeing, you know, my dysfunction as something that was very limited for my work. I didn't get, you know, I didn't feel that I was seen seriously because I had something that was outside the system, so to speak, the normal standards. But I kind of started to seeing the card differently, as I said. I seeing it more in a grounding card in that sense, and then I exclude, you know, the things of my personality that doesn't, you know, apply. But I don't hate the card anymore. And I know many hate the card, but don't do it. Please don't just think it as a calming and grounding way. And it can be, you know, if you're not religious, it can be philosophical um, as well. It can be spiritual. If you have, you know, spiritual guidelines that you follow or your community follows, that you feel grounded within. So the negative traits is, if it gets too much, is that you don't allow yourself a personality, you know. Yeah, but I don't think this is the case. But just feel it. You see, this card is quite hard for me. It's both nice and bad, but all tarot cards are nice and bad. I just have a personal with this card. But anyway, I hope you found this reading a little bit, you know, um, soothing. That you can take, you know, a week of reflecting on your roots, your community, your belief systems, and just find peace in it. To have, you know, a grid or to follow or something. You don't have to know, take decision in every tiny little thing you do. and reflect on how much your system maybe is helping you in your life, and as well how much it makes you feel frustrated because you cannot live out your personality fully. And then we have a discussion next week. And don't forget now the Pendulum Class, the 4th of June. I really love you there. And if you're new to a pendulum, you can get a pendulum if you want to. They are not that expensive. Or you can use just, now that's this is so tiny, but you can use just a necklace with a pendant on it as well. Oh yes, like this I can show you. I have a bucket here with pendants that I often give a pendant with give away or with readings, in-person readings. I think I should start doing that as well with my online readings. Supportive crystals that, you know, if we discover someone needs help or support in one area, I often choose a crystal and a little pendant, because I think it's just a lovely thing to do. I love doing this, so I should do it, but you have to pay postal, okay? No. But anyway, you can use just a pendant like this, and then you just you know, lock it, and then you have a pendulum with your, what do you call it, cord necklace. And then it you know, you have a pendulum, so you don't have to be, you know, buy something new if you don't want to. Yes, and I think it was all for today. I will upload a video on Patreon soon with a little chit chat about shadow and light side of cards. We have really elaborated with that a little bit here in the general reading with the Hierophant, that it is both, the card has a positive side and a negative side, and that's with all the cards. And I will be elaborating a little bit more and more in depth with this, on this topic, in the Patreon group Amethysts and Up. And yeah, see you soon, friends. Bye bye.